Welcome back to my channel. I am the Masked Trans and you are watching me, baby. Now before we get today's video started, I just want to give a quick what's up to my peeps and a diabolical middle finger to the creeps. You know who you are. Happy Sunday. It is Sunday afternoon. The struggle is real around these parts. I did not want to get out of that bed today, but I managed to find the energy to get up. I got to get these dishes washed, get these clothes washed, cook some dinner, just doing regular, normal stuff. You know, we trans women, we do normal stuff, you guys. We do regular, everyday people stuff. I sometimes wonder if people who don't have a trans friend or haven't encountered a trans woman just sit back and think that, I don't know, I'm comment below. If you are a heterosexual, cisgender man, woman, what have you, who doesn't have any affiliation with the trans community, what is your understanding of the day-to-day existence of a trans person? I'm curious to know, because I feel like a lot of people think that we just, I don't know, like sleep and wait to go to the club and drink and do drugs and, you know, I don't know what they think. So I would really like to know what you believe that we do. Because I'm at home on a Sunday, cleaning my house, putting away groceries, doing normal, everyday, mundane activities. Same thing that you're probably doing. I'm preparing for my week ahead where I do work a typical 9-to-5 corporate job. So there. But anyway, enough about she. I wanted to talk about really quick about this whole Dave Chappelle thing, right? And I know, like, I don't even want to continue talking about it, but it's one of those things where YouTube is pulling me into this rabbit hole. It just keeps suggesting video after video after video. I keep seeing the comments on my personal video. And so just more things keep coming to mind. The more and more I watch it, the more and more I hear other people's opinion. I'm like, damn, that's true, that's true, that's true. So one of the points that Dave made in his HBO special, The Closer, he talked about punching down. And before I even talk about what I'm here to talk about today, I put together a montage of trans women being punched down on. So take a look at this montage, and we'll come back and we'll talk about this on the other side. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes, and I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, on your uncle, bitch. On your uncle. We gonna stop. Yeah, on your uncle, bitch. On your uncle. Okay. Hey, y'all better help, dude. On your uncle. On your uncle. You got to. Let's go. Get out. Damn on, bro. Grade A wailing.
Them. Matt Gutman has that story, and we should warn you, this video may be hard to watch.
The LAPD says it's closing in on the suspect in this vicious apparent hate crime. This video, a 26-minute chronicle of harassment of 3 transgender women right on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The incident and that mockery,
I think that's a dude,
igniting a firestorm on social media. Eden Estrada, Jasleen Busanet, and Jocelyn Allen say the man had been hassling them earlier. Then he stole Estrada's phone.
Initially, we all chased after him to retrieve my phone, but bystanders around...
Transgender women attacked in Dallas, including the name Malaysia Booker, you may know, who was murdered last Saturday. Tonight, Dallas police are looking to see if there is a possible connection. Police say that all the victims are African American and all the attacks happened in the last 7 months. CBS 11's Steve Pickett live for us over at Dallas Police headquarters with the latest on the investigation for us. Steve?
Doug, we now know the Dallas Police Department will involve themselves in a town hall meeting. This will come on Thursday evening, specifically addressing concerns about crime and safety for the LGBTQ community. That extends to southern Dallas and East Dallas because these cases, including the one where Malaysia Booker was killed, is in that area. And police did say they see some similarity to these cases. Booker's murder came last Saturday, a month after this video of a mob of men violently beating the transgender woman was uploaded to social media sites. But her murder is just one.
The Dallas Police Department is aware there have been 3...
Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that video is tough to watch. It is tough to watch. You could take the trans woman out of the equation, right? Put the trans woman off to the side and replace the trans woman with a heterosexual cisgender male. And I still feel the same way. Take the male out. and put a cisgender woman, I still feel the same way. Take the woman out and put a white person, I still feel the same way. Take the white person out and put a Hispanic person, I still feel the same way. You guys get where I'm going with this, right? The problem is, for a lot of people, they would feel a level of compassion for everyone that I just mentioned, except if you bring that trans woman back and drop her in the middle of those scenarios. And they feel good. Good. Beat the trans right up out of her. Beat it up out of her. Beat that trans up out of her. Whatever you need to do to knock some sense into whatever that is, whatever you need to do to knock some sense into its head, you guys do it. They ask for it, they deserve it. That's what a lot of people feel. Like I said, if it was a woman, a child, a man, anything but a trans person, the majority of people would feel a level of compassion and empathy. But when you put a trans person in that situation, empathy goes out the window for many people. And so when Dave Chappelle has this closer special and he's talking about what do they mean by punching down on me, you now have a visual representation of what it means to be punched down upon. You now have a visual representation. This is what it looks like. And these are isolated cases in the sense that they were caught on film. They were caught on film. And I know people will try to find all sorts of justifications. Well, this person said this or this person did that. I don't care what anyone did in any situation. What happened to these trans women was not deserved. Was not. And it's a little frustrating to me that Dave, for whatever reason, believes that the plight of cis black men or the black community at large is somehow being gravely impacted or not being seen with the same amount of respect or importance as trans and LGBTQIA plus issues. Do you see how black people treat black trans women? That's a problem. That is a problem. That is a sickness. That is a sickness. Whenever you can harbor that much hate for someone that you don't even know, to be that angered, that triggered, to want to cause that amount of damage and harm to a person, something's wrong. Now, I don't know if a video exists. I have not seen one. I wouldn't love to see it, but I would welcome the opportunity to see one of a group of trans women just out pouncing upon a black man like they have nothing to do. I would love to see that video. Now, in addition to talking about punching down on trans women, I also wanted to address when Dave says gender is a fact. And I'll be honest with you guys when I listen to it, because I try to be as reasonable and as logical as I possibly can. And, you know, he talked about J.K. Rowling. So I was thinking to myself, okay, gender is a fact. And the more I started to think about it, the more I started to disagree with gender being a fact. And let me tell you why before you get your undies in a bunch, baby. Woosah. The reason I disagree, right, is if you think of gender in binary terms, meaning male and female, then yes, gender is a fact. However, here's something that people I think don't give the amount of attention that it deserves to, and that is the I in LGBTQIAP+. Now, for some of you who may be acronymically challenged, I'm just making up words here. The I in the acronym of LGBTQIA, the I is for intersex. Now, I know some of you may be scratching your heads trying to figure out what the hell is what is intersex. So intersex is exactly that. It's when two things intertwine. So lots of times you have people who may have male genitalia on the exterior, but ovaries on the interior, and vice versa, if you will. And some sort of amalgam of the genitalia, if you will. And so if gender is, in fact, a fact, what's up with this whole intersex thing? To me, and see, the problem with people being transgendered, right? So many people can't get past, quote unquote, the fact that it's attached to genitalia. Now, I agree, or I was going to say I did agree, that genitalia was a fact. But again, when you circle back around to this whole intersex thing, is genitalia even a fact? Because even genitalia can be ambiguous. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And so this is where I think that Dave just really misses the mark, right? And this is where I feel like Dave can benefit from some education, because sometimes he speaks without really knowing comprehensive about what he's talking about. And people listen. Gender is a fact. Gender is a fact. You know, you're a man or you're a woman. It's not the case, right? And see, when people have some sort of empirical evidence, if you will, they're more inclined to say, oh, maybe so. But the problem with being transgendered is everything is mental, for the most part. But if your genitalia can get cross-wired, what makes you think that your gender identity can't be? And I don't understand why a lot of people have a hard time grasping that concept. I don't understand why a lot of people think that, hey, I'm going to become transgender because I want my life to be 1,000 times harder, because that's going to make it interesting, make life more fun. Like, why? You have to ask yourself, from a logical standpoint, why would a person choose to be part of a marginalized group? Why? Why? There has to be a deep calling. Something is pulling you to that. And that something is innately who you are. And my whole thing has always been this. I don't give a damn about your acceptance. You ain't got to accept me. I don't give a damn about you accepting me. Ain't got time for it. My whole thing is just leave people the F alone. Just leave them alone. If you don't understand it, like for me, I can't understand people living paycheck to paycheck. Boggles my mind. How the hell are you living paycheck to paycheck? For me, I can't understand when I loan you $100, you ain't paid me back on my $100, and you call me up telling me how you just spent $1,000. I don't understand that. I can't understand it. It's a whole lot of ish that people do in this day and age that I don't understand. Not to judge, but I don't understand letting a man jump on you and going back to him. I don't understand that. But it isn't my responsibility to judge a person's choices. If you want to go back to that man who's jumping on you, look, I'm going to tell you that I don't think that you should. But if you choose to, I'm not going to stop talking to you. I'm not going to stop being your friend. I'm just going to take a laissez-faire approach towards it. Look, ain't my business. I told you how I felt. I gave you resources. I made myself available to you as one of those said resources, and you choose not to utilize them. I'm done with it. So, again, a lot of things. I don't understand men being on the corner selling drugs and then being surprised when they get swooped up by the police and locked up for 10, 15, 20 years. I don't understand it. Don't understand it. I don't understand all of the information being out here about crystal meth and all of the drugs that exist and people still choosing to try it. I don't understand it. But if you choose to do it, that's your business. Just know that I won't be joining that party. And so again, my thing is just mind your business. Leave people alone. Quit worrying about what's between another person's legs. Why are you so consumed with how another person identifies? How is that affecting you? Case in point, right? If I turned out this camera today and said, you know what, I'm no longer trans, did your value, your happiness somehow increase as a result of that? The answer is a resounding no. It doesn't. It doesn't. Because mine certainly doesn't increase whether or not you approve of me. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about your approval, your acceptance, your tolerance. I'm a different type of trans woman. Unapologetically trans. I'm not kowtowing. I'm not capitulating. I'm not balling up in a corner crying, what was me, what was me, what was me. I'm not here for any of that. The same smoke that you give is the same smoke that you need to be prepared to receive. And I just wish more trans women were fortified in that way. Don't be out, more women in general. I don't do the bullying thing. I don't play that. I don't play that. So Dave can say what he want to say. You can believe what you want to believe about what Dave said. But just like a white man can't tell you how to be a black man, a heterosexual cis man can't tell me what it is to be a trans woman. And so you can take what he says as facts. But when someone white comes along and tells you what the black experience is, then I don't want pushback on that. I don't want pushback on that. Dave doesn't live the trans experience. He is on the periphery at best. An onlooker. You know, he talks about this relationship with Daphne. what constitutes a relationship? Did they hang out? Did they go to dinner? Did he bring her meds when she was sick? Like, people keep going back to this thing, well, he invited her to open for him. Yes, he invited her to open for him in San Francisco. The gayest, one of the gayest places known to mankind. He said, bring your trans ASS over here. You can open up for me in San Fran, where your people reside. But why didn't you invite her out to Chicago to open up for you? Why you didn't invite her out to New York? Why didn't you invite her down to Texas to open up for you? Because you know that they probably wouldn't be as receptive in those areas. But if you were truly riding for your friend, shouldn't matter the location. And if you truly wanted to help her develop, when taking her on the road and introducing her to different audience and helping her build her comedic chops, wouldn't that have been beneficial if the goal was really to help her develop? But once a year, once every 2 or 3 years when I come to San Fran, then you're welcome to open for me. When asking her to preview her material for you before she goes on stage and bombs in front of an audience of however many people were in attendance that night, wouldn't that be beneficial to her growth and development as a comedian? I'm just saying. Now, I'm posing all of these questions not because I'm trying to undermine the good that Dave did do, right? Because, you know, no good deed goes unpunished, so to speak, but I appreciate what he did do for Daphne. And I'm not necessarily of the mindset that he did it with any ill intent. But sometimes we don't even realize how our understanding or lack thereof affects the choices that we make. So maybe he wasn't even conscious that inviting Daphne only to open for him in San Francisco still has a little bit of a homophobic or transphobic tinge to it. It's troubling for me because I feel like we're playing this game of trauma wars. You know, everyone, for whatever reason, believes their trauma is more important than the other person's trauma. And the bottom line is, just leave people alone. Respect people's experiences. And problem solved. But when Dave speaks, people listen. And everyone seems to think that Dave knows what he's talking about. I don't have any idea if Dave has met with trans women outside of Daphne. I don't know what their experience was together in terms of their friendship, whether they visited each other, hung out, had dinner, broke bread. Like, I don't know how he defines a friendship with Daphne, right? Because maybe if the friendship was on a deeper level, then he would have a deeper understanding. I don't know. But I just wanted to come really quick, you guys. Like I said, it is Sunday afternoon. And I need to go do some things around this house. So it's going to be a pretty short video. But be on the lookout for some stuff I have coming up during the week. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, in closing, ask yourself this one poignant question. Why be bitter when you can be better? So let's be better together. I'm the Mass Trans, and I'll talk to you guys again in my next video. Mwah. Bye-bye.